Headlines across the country proclaim that the Philippines is sitting on a staggering $26 trillion oil jackpot, a figure so immense it's almost hard to imagine. The news splashes across front pages and television screens, igniting a wave of excitement and speculation. This discovery is painted as a golden ticket, promising a future of instant prosperity for every Filipino. The idea of sudden wealth stirs hope in the hearts of millions, from business leaders to ordinary families dreaming of a better life. The notion of untapped riches lying beneath the West Philippine Sea captures the nation's imagination, fueling dreams of transformation. People talk about new schools, hospitals and jobs, envisioning a country finally free from poverty. But is this fortune truly within reach? Or is it just a mirage shimmering on the horizon? The $26 trillion figure is in reality a speculative, high-end estimate, not proven reserves. It's a number that looks impressive on paper, but its foundation is shaky. This estimate is based on decades-old geological surveys and assumes a perfect scenario. Every drop of oil is found, every barrel is extracted, and global prices remain sky-high. In truth, such perfection rarely exists in the real world. Experts warn that turning this potential into real wealth is a monumental challenge, fraught with technical, financial, and political obstacles. The path from discovery to development is long, expensive, and uncertain. For many, the promise of easy riches is a tempting distraction from the country's immediate struggles: rising prices, unemployment, and the daily grind of making ends meet. The gap between this theoretical treasure and the daily reality faced by most Filipinos is vast, almost unbridgeable. The oil remains a distant hope, while the challenges of today persist. Extracting these resources would require billions in investment, advanced technology, and above all, political stability, none of which are guaranteed in the current climate. The $26 trillion figure assumes ideal conditions, but reality is far more complicated, filled with risks, delays, and unforeseen costs that could shrink the prize dramatically. The true value of the West Philippine Sea's resources remains a question mark, fueling both hope and conflict. Territorial disputes and diplomatic tensions add another layer of uncertainty. The journey from estimate to actual oil is long and uncertain, filled with obstacles that could take years, even decades, to overcome. For now, the nation's supposed buried treasure remains just out of reach, a tantalizing possibility rather than a present reality. The real story is not just about what lies beneath the sea, but about the powerful forces, political, economic, and international, that keep it there, shaping the destiny of a nation still searching for its fortune. While headlines promise oil-fueled prosperity, most Filipinos face a daily struggle. High prices for food and electricity stretch household budgets to the breaking point. Many leave to work abroad, sending remittances that keep the economy afloat, a sign of limited opportunities at home. The supposed $26 trillion in the ground offers little comfort to families making tough choices. The contrast is stark: a nation rich in potential, yet burdened by underfunded schools, congested roads, and a strained healthcare system. For most, the geopolitical chess match over oil feels distant compared to the challenge of daily survival. The treasure remains buried, while the needs are urgent and visible. The disconnect between hope and hardship fuels frustration and tough questions about governance and equity. The real challenge is ensuring any future wealth benefits all Filipinos, not just a select few. The heart of the Philippines' energy hopes lies in the Reed Bank, a remote and mysterious expanse in the West Philippine Sea that has captured the nation's imagination for decades. This vast underwater plateau sits squarely within the country's exclusive economic zone, a region rich in marine life and potentially in untapped energy resources. Geological surveys over the years have hinted that Reed Bank could hold the Philippines' largest oil and gas reserves, making it the epicenter of trillion-dollar dreams and the focus of intense national interest. For over 2 decades, the Malampaya gas field has served as the nation's energy lifeline, supplying up to 40% of Luzon's electricity and powering millions of homes and businesses. Malampaya's success proved that the Philippines can harness offshore resources when there is sufficient investment, technological expertise, and, crucially, political stability. But Malampaya's reserves are dwindling, and the clock is ticking. Reed Bank, meanwhile, presents a different story. Its riches remain unproven, and its waters are fiercely contested by rival claimants. The foundation of Malampaya's success was built on legal clarity and political will, both of which are currently lacking in the case of Reed Bank. The technical challenges of deep water exploration are immense, requiring advanced technology and significant capital. Yet the geopolitical risks, heightened by territorial disputes and military tensions, are even greater. The dream is to discover another Malampaya, or perhaps something even bigger, within the reed bank's hidden depths, a find that could transform the nation's energy future. However, ongoing international disputes and diplomatic standoffs have kept this immense potential locked away, frustrating efforts to move forward. The path from promise to production is blocked by more than just deep water and technical barriers. It is obstructed by complex legal, political, and security challenges. For now, the reed bank remains a tantalizing but inaccessible prize, its promise just out of reach. The nation waits, caught between hope and uncertainty, as the future of its energy security hangs in the balance. Malampaya, once the backbone of Philippine energy, is fading fast. Its reserves are dwindling, and experts warn of a looming energy shortfall. Without Malampaya, power plants will turn to more expensive, polluting imports, driving up costs and threatening economic stability. The urgency to find a replacement is real, and reed bank seems the logical successor. But the same waters that hold promise are locked in dispute. The nation faces a painful dilemma. Its main energy source is dying, and its best hope is out of reach. Every day of delay brings the country closer to blackouts and higher bills. The twilight of Malampaya casts a long shadow over the nation's future. The clock is ticking, but the path forward is blocked. The real barrier to reed bank isn't technology, it's China. Beijing claims nearly the entire South China Sea, including reed bank, using its controversial 9-line. China enforces its claim with Coast Guard and naval patrols, intimidating and blocking Philippine vessels. Any attempt at exploration is met with overwhelming interference, making investment risky and dangerous. The Philippines is outmatched, facing a powerful neighbor using gray zone tactics, aggressive moves that stop short of war. For Manila, it's about sovereignty and survival. For Beijing, it's about power and control. The result is a deadlock. The Philippines' resources remain inaccessible, trapped by geopolitics. The standoff has frozen all development in the region. The dragon's shadow keeps the treasure buried. The stakes are high, but the impasse remains. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, challenging its sweeping claims under international law. The 2016 Hague ruling was a landmark victory. China's 9-line was declared invalid and reed bank affirmed as Philippine territory. The world applauded, but China rejected the ruling outright and doubled down on its presence in disputed waters. The legal win changed nothing on the water. Chinese ships still dominate, and the Philippines lacks the means to enforce its rights. The ruling is a powerful symbol and diplomatic tool, but not a solution. International support is vocal, but stops short of action. The Philippines holds a legal shield, but the treasure remains locked away. The victory is real, but only on paper. The struggle for control continues, with law and might in constant tension. The promise of the reed bank is still out of reach. Even if the standoff ended, another threat looms: corruption. The resource curse has plagued many nations, sudden wealth fueling inequality, conflict, and graft. In the Philippines, weak institutions and entrenched political interests raise fears that oil riches could be siphoned off by the elite. Without transparency and strong oversight, new wealth could deepen divisions instead of lifting the nation. Real reform is needed: anti-corruption laws, independent oversight, and a sovereign wealth fund to manage resources for all. The battle is not just at sea, but within the halls of power. The true test is whether the nation can turn potential wealth into shared prosperity. The Philippines is not standing still. It's forging alliances and pushing reforms. Renewed military ties with the US and partnerships with Japan, Australia, and others aim to deter aggression and uphold international law. Joint patrols, intelligence sharing, and diplomatic coalitions send a message: the world is watching. At home, the focus is on modernizing the military and fighting corruption. Civil society and journalists are demanding transparency and accountability in resource management. These efforts are slow and difficult, but signal a shift from passivity to assertiveness. The path is challenging, balancing defense, reform, and development. The nation is learning to defend its interests with both alliances and good governance. The future depends on turning strategy into action. The Philippines stands at a pivotal crossroads. Should it pursue the promise of fossil fuel riches, tapping into its reserves of oil and gas beneath the sea, or should it leap boldly toward a green future powered by clean, renewable energy sources? Oil and gas from the Reed Bank could fuel economic growth, create jobs, and provide much-needed energy security for millions of Filipinos. It could also reduce dependence on costly imports, but these benefits come with significant environmental and social costs. Investing heavily in fossil fuels is increasingly risky, as global markets shift and the world accelerates its transition to renewables. Meanwhile, climate threats intensify, bringing more frequent typhoons, flooding, and unpredictable weather patterns. The country is among the most vulnerable to climate change, with coastal communities and rural areas facing the brunt of rising sea levels and natural disasters. Relying on a fossil-fueled future is a dangerous bet that could jeopardize lives and livelihoods. Yet the Philippines is blessed with abundant renewable resources, solar, wind, and geothermal energy that can power homes and industries sustainably. A balanced, hybrid approach could use transitional gas revenues to invest in infrastructure and fund a massive shift to clean energy technologies. This transition would create new jobs, reduce pollution, and help the nation meet its climate goals. The real challenge is balancing urgent economic needs with the long-term survival and well-being of future generations. The choice isn't simply between black gold and green energy, but about building a secure, resilient, and sustainable future for all Filipinos. How the Philippines navigates this critical dilemma will ultimately define its destiny for decades to come. The sleeping giant's awakening depends on wise choices, courageous leadership, unity among its people, and a shared vision for a brighter tomorrow. The nation's future truly lies in its own hands. What path will it choose?